to Perimenopausal Athletes and Beyond, a masterclass series bringing together experts in mindset, nutrition, training, recovery, and today we have Jodi Silverman. Yay! Jodi is a repeat expert because we had such a great number of people just said how much they appreciated you in the last series. So here we have you back talking about a little bit different, but in any case, I'm Tennille Hooglin, the host. Once in a while, I introduce myself. Most times I don't, but here I am, and the founder owner of Element Sports Coaching. And Jodi, I'm gonna. Well, first say hi.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be invited back.
Yeah,
we had a fun conversation about self-talk last time.
We certainly did. And it was super, super valuable to a lot of people just trying to understand it. So in any case, that's the last masterclass. Let's get into this one. So Jodi is an author. She's a public speaker, and she is really at the essence of community builder. And what her focus, and we're going to learn a little bit more about it specifically, is to really mentor moms who are, going through the empty nest.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. I've got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, so I feel very far away from an empty nest, but it actually terrifies me already. So, and it coming into this really big transition, and it often occurs at perimenopause when you're horny and in the beyond, right?
It's a perfect storm.
It's the perfect storm. So not only are you feeling the emotions of our hormone changes, you're feeling the emotions because your children are leaving the nest and taking on big and bold lives that you have, help them get to. So it's must be a whole lot of releasing. Anyways, that is that. What I want to, I can also say, I'm going to specifically talk to Jodi about what it is that she does, because it's important to this conversation. But I should say that, that Jodi is also an athlete herself. She is postmenopause, and she's a tennis player, loves it. And we collaborate often and talk often in supporting each other and in our community. So Jodi.
Yes, Tennille.
Let's find out about your community and what is at the essence of your community and what you're creating with it.
So at the essence, at the core, is daring. It's called Moms Who Dare, and daring, not daring in a scary way. Daring is like a fun, playful word that resonated with me when I heard a speaker talk about daring as it relates to stepping out of your comfort zone and trying new things to get unstuck.
Yeah.
And so that's where most moms are when they enter the empty nest midlife season of their life. They're feeling a little stuck, a little loss of meaning, a little loss of purpose. They've invested all of themselves. You have a 2- and 4-year-old. You invest everything you have, even with a business. Everything else that you have is all about your children, getting them to that point where they can go out into the world to become who they're going to become. Mm-hmm. And then you're left there wondering, well, who am I if not a full-time mom? Mm-hmm. Because you've given up or put aside or pushed away some of your goals and your dreams. So it's all about daring, and daring simply is the act of daring to shift the focus back onto yourself, step out, try new things, to see what comes up for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we
really
did.
Really super exciting. And so one of the things that I know you do with a lot of the women that you work with is visioning.
Oh yeah, big on visualization and vision boarding. And
tell us a little bit about this. And I want to encourage you or offer how this relates specifically to our visioning and daring of ourselves as athletes, because I know that I've come into your group and they're just like, yeah, but I am not an athlete. And so what is it? But in this group, although some may not claim athlete and some may not really associate with that word athlete, these people are moving. They are interested, they love, they want to keep moving. And so how do we, and there's sometimes a bit of resistance.
Well, yeah.
Because of shift, because of change, because, it's not what we used to do. Well, so how do you do that?
Visualization is very powerful. I mean, just think about when you were a little kid and just think about daydreaming. If the word visualization is too big and too everyday for you, you're hearing it left and right. Every time you turn on, somebody else is talking about vision boards. Think about daydreaming. I mean, I daydream all the time. I visualize myself. I can see myself standing on the stages talking to the women that I want to talk to. I visualize, I get to my tennis matches and athletes. Whether you think you're an athlete or you say, well, I just play a sport. And by the way, that just play a sport, that doesn't work either. You're an athlete. You visualize what you're doing before you get on the court, on the bicycle, hitting the streets, whether you're running, swimming. I visualize all the time. I'll sit in my car, take a few deep breaths, I'll close my eyes and I'll visualize. Actually, I'll visualize and feel. So I'll feel the calmness that I want to feel when I'm on the court. And I'll visualize myself hitting the ball and following through. Just swing, just hitting it. I visualize my swing, and I visualize while I feel how I want to feel on the court too. Because it's not just about visualization, it's also about tapping into all the senses. So when you visualize something you want to achieve, whether it's doing something remarkable in your given sport as an athlete, or whether it's trying something new, like maybe learning a new skill for a mom. I always say, maybe you want to join a book club, using all your senses to visualize that, to manifest it. So when I say like close your eyes, like I can feel the tennis court, I can see the lights, like I'm closing my eyes, I can feel that adrenaline, that excitement, and that like, yeah, I want this, but yet the calmness when I go to hit the ball, and I can see myself moving through the shot and following through, and the split step. And so visualizing is really powerful, and it gets you into the right mindset and the right space. So whether it's, am I freezing up there? There we go.
It's fine.
So so with my moms, I mean, we visualize our goals and our dreams. You can visualize what your life could look like. And maybe I visualize a vacation with my children. I visualize renting a beach house and having a place at the beach one day where all my kids and their significant others come. And I've seen that. And a friend of ours gave us their beach house this past summer. And I realized that visualization, that dream came true. So that's what visualization is, daydreaming, but really tapping into all your senses. Smell the smells around you. If you're a swimmer, smell that chlorine. Seriously, smell it.
Oh my goodness, I think I've just almost got rid of the smell of chlorine after.
Yeah, if you're a swimmer, if you're a runner, feel the ground beneath your feet and tap into all your senses to get you in that space of really enjoying it before you even get out there. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do in visualization and for anything. I mean, we do a vision board workshop and we get really clear on some of the things. We talk about the different areas of life, like in your finances, maybe you want to travel, in your relationships, and visualize what that looks like. Think about what it feels like. What does your relationship feel like if you want a romantic relationship?
Right. And I think that really here, one of the challenges that we have in perimenopause and beyond is that in some cases, not all, we're redefining our relationship with sport in general and redefining what that actually looks like and feels like for us. And so, and in combined with the rest of our lives, like all these other pieces. And I think one of the biggest challenges that we have as females, and particularly in this, if we're in perimenopause, so we're, 35 plus, so 40s, 50s, 60s, and then 70s. Hopefully I have athletes. I want to hear from the athletes that are in 70s.
I hope I'm swinging the racket at 70. I hope I am.
Yeah, seriously. Right. So it's a busy time too. It's a really busy time. And it's like, how do we get it all in? And so that's what I want to, delve into a little bit deeper. Okay. So we have this vision, or we're trying to figure out what this vision is, but it's not just about the sport. So it's how do we get to be in sport while in concert with all the other pieces of our lives? What are the major blocks that we might have, or perceived blocks as we learned from our business coach, Christina Jandali, the perception of blocks that we have. So what are, the blocks that we might actually come against to figuring out or to making our vision a reality?
Oh, I don't have time. I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm doing everything for everybody else. I just don't have the time. I don't have the energy. And you know what? And the money. So time, energy, money. I know I'm saying it funny and jokingly, but I think before we get into the time, energy, money, I think the biggest problem we have as women, even in empty nest, is still putting everything else before ourselves. And we've said it, you've said it, I've said it, and every other coach and speaker out there in the world has said it. If you do not show up for yourself, first and foremost, you will end up sad, disappointed, tired, and even frustrated and maybe a little resentful. So you get to put yourself first. And it's all about giving yourself permission to invest time, energy, and money in the things you want. So the time to train, the time to take care of your nutrition, whether it's the training or the recovery, the actual competition, the energy to do it. So carve out that time. And if you need to go to sleep an hour early to get that energy, then that's what you do. How important is it? I had a coach from a stage once. I attended a women's conference and said, how uncomfortable are you willing to get to achieve your goals? So the time, the energy, and yes, there's always going to be some kind of financial investment, always in yourself, whether it's for a trainer like you, Tennille, and investing in your programs that you offer so that you can bring everybody the tools that they need to stay athletes in this perimenopausal stage and beyond. Money to invest in nutrition, to purchase the right nutritional foods and spend a little more on better quality for yourself. But, it's time, energy, and money that are the barriers. And we can all, and I hesitate to say this, I don't like when people say to me, if it's important enough to you, you'll find a way to do it, but you will find a way to do it. And if you can't invest all the money right now, then figure out the time and energy you can put in to make up for what you can't invest money-wise. But those are the 3 blocks. People always complain about not having time, energy, or money. And it's about putting yourself first and looking at your life and reprioritizing what's most important. And it's okay. And I'm going to talk and when I talk to the moms about this, it's okay to tell your kids, you know what? Tuesdays and Thursdays are my training day. My kids know Friday is my tennis day. I play competitive tennis on Friday. I have a match every Friday. It is non-negotiable. It is non-negotiable for me. I don't do business. It's my happiest day of my week. And in order to stay on the courts, I have to invest time and money in a trainer to keep me strong, to prevent injury. I'm 55. And it took me a while to realize that, and people always say to me, God, you have a personal trainer, the same personal trainer for 12 years. I go twice a week for 12 years. And people say, doesn't that cost a lot of money rather than go to the gym? Here's how you can negotiate with yourself and figure out what works. I know me. If I would invest money to go to a gym, I wouldn't go. If my back hurt, if my knee hurt, if my shoulder hurt, I wouldn't go. If my knee's bothering me, I text Brandy. She rearranges my workout. I still get my upper body workout. So for me, investing the money in myself off the court so that I can stay on the court in my chosen sport, that translates to me feeling joyful, fulfilled, and gives me energy because now I'm physically active. So you must find a way to invest time, energy, and money.
So there's a couple of things there. So one of the things that you said is that you feel joy. Like you didn't say strong, but I know that because
I feel very strong.
I'm very strong and confident and like all these things that are coming out of it. One of the things that I wonder, and I also think of health bills. It's like, like I'm thinking like, well, what is the cost of not doing it?
Right.
And so it's the pros and the cons. Like maybe it isn't. Maybe you are a motivated human being that can get yourself to a gym and does that you don't need that accountability to
Right.
show up. Or maybe it's something else that you want to do where you've got the tools that you need and you can go into a different group, or whatever it is, like whatever it is. But I think what's interesting is that it's not about you keep on coming back into the feeling of the visualizing of what you get to be, not the, like I talk a lot in all these series, like in the series, like, okay, it's good for your heart. It's good for, we're not so excited.
It's good for your soul.
Yeah. Like we don't get so excited about health. It's not, beating this fear-based beating on the door. It doesn't work. What does work is what do we want to move toward? And so partly I'm wondering, or as if you help people envision, is when you talk about the emotion, it is where are you going toward? And what do you truly believe that you need to do to get there as you're going toward that end? And I love it that you brought up forward is like, what are you willing to be uncomfortable in?
Yeah. What are you willing to, how uncomfortable are you willing to get to achieve the goals you want? Or more than that, what are you willing to put aside? I wouldn't say give up. You don't necessarily have to give up everything. What are you willing to put aside now to do what really fills you? Because you said something, Tennille, all of this, we could talk about the health benefits, but investing the time, and when I say invest time in yourself, and we could talk about it as an athlete, but it's also investing time in reading and educating yourself, whatever fills you is what you invest. But as it relates to athletes, investing my time, my energy, and my money in my life, in the part that allows me to stay active in tennis and play competitive tennis, it does translate to confidence. I feel very strong. I like feeling strong. And when I feel strong, when you feel strong, and I'm talking to athletes out there, and I want to see the nodding of the heads virtually that because they know, your athletes know that when you feel that confidence, you show up in the world, standing taller, able to advocate for yourself more, speak up for yourself, be there for your children, be there for your partners, be there for your team. You just be there for your community. It just translates to so much. And it pains me when women say, I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I'm too busy. I don't have the time. And then I can't afford to invest, I don't know, $100 a month in good nutrition. Yes, you can't afford not to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can't. And I'm not counting people's money. But if we sit down and we really look at what we're doing, time, energy, money, and write down everything you're doing with your time, if you look at everything you do with your time, you'll find your energy suckers.
Yeah. If you become accountable and become aware. So
Yeah.
my thing is ACE. So it's awareness, connection, action, or execute the action, and intentional and targeted. And so the first step is always awareness. And like, it is eye-opening. I think the other thing that we all struggle with this, like it's a life's work to try to manage ourselves in this and to remind ourselves. One of the things that helps me in this is this, and it's, am I living today the way that I want to? Like, I can't keep putting off, I'll do it tomorrow. So for example, today I have a super busy day at work. My husband's gone for a field trip. So I have the kids, like there's a lot going on in my life. And I was like, okay, if I don't go for a run first thing this morning, I don't get to do it. And is that what I'm committed to?
See, and so what you just asked yourself, the way I phrase the same exact thing is, how will I feel if I do go for the run, and how will I feel if I don't?
Yeah.
And so I am always tapping into the feeling. It's the same thing, because when you ask yourself that question, you tapped into how you're going to feel.
Well, here I am talking about being an athlete, and because I value it so deeply within my being, and I want it for every single person to feel that strength and the ability to be and show up in the world. And I know that it's so easy to slip and to say, tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow I might find the time. Tomorrow I don't, that maybe the situation will change. It doesn't.
No.
I'm here to say it doesn't. Tomorrow is no different than today. And tomorrow is absolutely not the time to start. And every minute today, the way that you're living today is how you're going to live tomorrow. And so we need to start small. We need to start so how long was my run? Let's be honest, it was 20 minutes. I guess that's all I could do.
You know what, Tennille?
But it was
It's better
20
than
minutes.
nothing.
I moved. I got my
Right.
I put my running shoes on. It felt so good. I listened to my Brené Brown on 1.5
There you
times
go.
faster so I could get the whole thing done. It was hilarious.
Did you really? That's so
Oh,
funny.
it's hilarious. Now, I don't wholly recommend some of the podcasts to be listening at 1.5 because sometimes people speak really fast.
Oh,
so I
wow.
actually had to slow it down.
It's funny because, I talk mainly, I'm in my community, I'm really with moms who have kids in high school and way beyond. I mean, some of my moms are grandparents already. And then I talked to a mom like you with a 2 and a 4-year-old, and they said, well, and they really don't have time. I remember. So you know what I said? I said, so take them outside and let them run around and run around with them.
Yeah, I'll share one more quick story with our listeners on this. And so the Aura Ring has come up with a new, and part of this, the reason why I'm sharing this is because it's an awareness component, right?
Okay.
Half of our challenge is to bring awareness to what we already are doing for our health. And so Aura, the ring has just with their new version has come out with, okay, now we're going to track your heart rate for activity. And we're trying to match what your heart rate is doing with the activities that you most often do. And so I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. Well, every single day when I go in, I upload my app, it's saying, did you go for 3 bike rides? It's like cycling. And I'm like, actually, no, I didn't do that. But that was the morning when I was getting my kids ready. That was the afternoon playtime. And this is me getting ready for bed.
Like you're cycling. Yeah. Oh my God.
Just moving. And because it has some sort of metrics in it. And so I laugh because I'm like, okay, so what does my whole day look like? Well, it's certainly not sedentary. So it's about awareness. It's like, oh, well, part of this makes me laugh because I'm like, well, it's like I just did my bike ride. Now, it wasn't my bike. It wasn't for me. I was running around, but at the same time, I was setting up a bike course with, chalk in which my children were running around with. So in any case, become aware. And anything else that you want to share with us? I
just want to say a really good place is if you really feel like you don't have the time, you don't have the energy, put the money on the side and really make a list of where you spend a day journaling and keeping track of where you're spending your time. How you're spending your time, and then really look at it honestly and evaluate it, because there is time to be had. Like, is it just 20 minutes? Maybe it's 10 minutes. Maybe it's a 5-minute walk around the block. I don't know, but it's something. It's something. We must give ourselves permission as women to invest in ourselves, whatever that looks and feels like to you. We must do it. And we get to do that. I say we get to do that.
We are not victims of our choices.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. I have one final question that I'm asking all speakers. And I can't wait to ask this of you because I actually don't know the answer. So this is my question. What do you have a moment or a particular experience that led you to say, I need to create a community for moms who dare?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
I want to hear.
I had been, I'll keep it short. I found myself one day, my daughter was a senior in high school, my son was a freshman. So I knew empty nest was coming. And I knew that when my daughter left, I would have even more space, even though my son was home. And I remember the day I was sitting, so I know where I was sitting. And I remember asking myself, I wonder when Mike both leave, is what I'm doing. And at the time I was selling commercial printing. I had my own print brokering business. Is what I'm doing enough? Like, is this what I want to do? I'm like, no. And I remember thinking, no, I don't. Just that question allowed me to be like, okay, so then what is it? And I had this feeling inside of me, there was something bigger than me. I didn't know what it was. Just that question and answering it allowed me, I said yes to a business opportunity in direct sales, network marketing, which had me stepping out of my comfort zone left and right, doing things I never thought I would do, meeting amazing people, this whole world of personal growth, reading all the good books, Think and Grow Rich, going to conferences. And it hit me one day that there was no way I was going to allow my friends to sit and cry for weeks and weeks because their kids were leaving. We were going to go out and have some fun. And we were going to do new and fun. And dairy wasn't even a word. We were just going to do new things together because I was having so much fun. And then I heard a woman speak at a conference about her year of daring. I went home and I had a Facebook group for something else. And I changed it to mom. I said, I'm a mom who dares. But we're gonna be moms who dare. I changed the name of the Facebook group to Moms Who Dare. And I would post them like, anybody ever go to a movie at 10 o'clock in the morning? I'm going to see White Christmas at the movie theater at 10 in the morning. Who's going with me? 4 people showed up. I'm like, anybody ever want to go on a ghost tour? I'm going to go on a ghost tour. And that's how the community just started. It just started organically.
That's really fun. Super fun. Just doing it. Actually, just doing it.
Just doing it.
Just doing it. Yeah. Just because it lights you up. Well, you lit me up. Thank you so much for coming on to the series and sharing. And I really, I do think it's a message worth hearing. So thank you for that.
Thank you for inviting me back. I appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.